And we got a video here from Cozy Snap. He says top 20 best cards to pull early in pool 3 that give a huge advantage. So I want to see what his opinion is on these 20 cards and if I agree with them. So let's play it.
Last pool currently in Marvel Snap. Pool 3, the largest of them all. It can both give the excitement of card collecting games, never knowing which one you're going to get, along with disappointment of pulling bad cards early. Well, today I'm here to help you know the difference of the two by not going over the best 20 cards in Pool 3. That's for the tier list video, but going over the best 20 top cards that you can pull early to help you just supercharge the current collection you have and escape the early Pool 3 hell. Let's begin. So Pool 3 is where things really start to take shape in Marvel Snap as you're making your early entrance into the late game.
That is true.
In my opinion, the best approach to this is look at the cards that you have unlocked, look at your current decks, and combine them to make the best decks possible to either climb rank or have fun, whatever your objective is. First up on this list, we're going to look at some cards from Pool 3 that are going to give you a huge complement to the Pool 2 decks you already have.
All right.
Cards that
is a good
supercharge
approach.
things that you already know how they work and overall synergies that you're comfortable with. Let's start out with most people's favorite Pool 2 deck in the Collector and Devil Dinosaur. By now, I'm hoping you guys have seen my deck guide, but there's a card that you can pull to supercharge this deck and make it...
Maybe Quinjet. Are you going to talk about Quinjet? Quinjet is good in that deck, but Quinjet sucks outside that. Well, Quinjet can be used in the Spectrum deck too.
Very viable in Pool 3, and that's going to be the X-Men Beast.
Beast.
Now, by
Beast
playing
cool.
Beast,
Yes.
he pulls all of the cards that you have played.
We were playing the
back
bounce
into
deck,
your
so
hand,
it is something similar.
costing one less, and this has awesome synergy with Agent 13 and Cable to get more cards in your hand for Devil Dinosaur, but at the same time, it gives the...
But at the same time, yes, Beast is great in that deck, but is Beast one of the best 20 cards in the Pool 3? I don't know, bro. Because there are great cards in Pool 3, you know? And Beast is cool, but I don't know if it is one of the 20 best, you know?
Collector a lot of power, and if you can add Falcon to the mix as well, he perfectly complements it. So those that are fans of Devil Dinosaur, you've got a deck that's going to work very well at the top of the meta. Next up, we have Patriot, and my gosh, if you get Patriot early, you're in for a great time. While he doesn't make one deck that you've already made much better, he's going to make a ton of cards that you have in your collection way more usable, and he makes...
You can use... Cyclops, you can't really use Misty Knight or Shocker or none of that bullshit if you don't have a Patriot. But with a Patriot, a lot of cards that were stupid become strong. So yes, Patriot is a great pull.
Makes all non-ability cards. So Cyclops, Shocker, Misty Knight even get a major boost, and you're gonna have early access to a super fun deck. And finally, you can use Cyclops and he doesn't suck. Now, he's a pretty good deck when you go into Pool 3. If you manage to pull either Ultron or Mystique, you're in for a top tier deck that you can really use.
I have a video about that deck, and that deck is one of my favorites. It is a great deck. Slapping an Ultron on the last turn with an already played Patriot, that feels awesome, dude.
The rest of the time to climb ranks easily. Overall, super fun deck. If you pull him early, good on you. All right, now let's talk control. There's a lot of cards I'll talk about later that you can use in any deck. But for now, I want to talk about one card that's going to really help a control deck. The Storm decks, you can check the guide up above. Very strong deck. And that's going to be Daredevil. Now, Daredevil is an extremely fun card. He's a 2-cost card that allows you to see what your opponent is going to do on turn 5 before you make your play. Now, this absolutely takes Professor X to the next level, allowing you to lock down a lane extremely early. If you're a control fan, it's a dream.
I know Daredevil allows for a lot of plays, but I haven't experimented with Daredevil because I don't have him, so I don't really have a strong opinion. But I know that Daredevil makes the Hobgoblin good, or the Goblins good, makes Professor X good, even Spider-Man good, and the Guardians of the Galaxy if you want to play them, but they suck, we all know it. Bro, dude, why you do this to me, dude? I love you, Pira. Don't do this to me, bro.
I want to move to on reveal, but this one kind of works for both of them. Let's talk Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom is awesome, of course. I do have Dr. Doom, and he's great in control decks because you can push power in lanes that are locked down, that you have already a Storm or a Spider-Man or whatever, and you can push power there, and it is great, dude. I love Dr. Doom, and of course, I love the Dr. Doom character a lot.
You run Storm and Jessica Jones. You're going to love this perfect complement of an on-reveal card, and he works so well with a lot of different combinations of decks. Dr. Doom is going to spread power across all of the lanes, and he's a great way to seal up hard-to-reach locations while also providing...
Look at that. This dude has a variant for Dr. Doom, and I get morph variants, bro. If you are going to give me variants, give me that Dr. Doom is cool. Why would you give me 2 morph variants, bro?
Power in your other locations to make sure that your opponent can't take them from you on the last turn. He's an amazing 6-cost drop, and there's a lot of ways to make him work. But let's talk on reveals. I want you to meet Lockjaw, possibly one of the most fun.
Lockjaw is fun, is good, is strong. But the thing with Lockjaw is that you have to build a very specific kind of deck to make him work. Do you have those type of cards in pool 1 and pool 2? I don't know. Because maybe you need more pool 3 cards to make Lockjaw work. I'm not sure. I'm just talking out of my ass here. Just speculating, you know.
Fun cards to play with in Snap that also gives you a lot of power. Essentially, early on, you can build entire decks around Lockjaw, and if you like on-reveal effects, you're in for a treat. Lockjaw is going to go ahead and swap...
Look at this. He has his Green Goblin there, bro. Look at his, at his hand. He has the Green Goblin there, dude. What is this, bro?
A card that you play for another one in your deck. And why this is so strong is you can play cards like White Tiger, who will summon a tiger, but you don't have to have her measly
I'm the only one who doesn't have Green Goblin, bro.
Going on that location, as it will swap it out for another card. This allows you to have much higher weighted cost decks and has perfect combinations with cards you already love, like Jubilee. Like, for instance, if you play Jubilee, she's going to summon down a card. It's going to exchange Jubilee for another card.
Jubilee is great in the Lockjaw
one
deck.
She summons. For on reveal, you already have a lot of strong cards with synergy. Now, our next card gets a lot stronger the further you go into pool 3 to complement her, but Hela is a discard lover.
Hela is great, bro. And Hela was one of my first pool 3 pulls. And I loved it, bro. Even if I didn't have Invisible Woman, because Invisible Woman is one of the cards that enable Hela, because the thing with Hela without Invisible Woman is that you will discard your own Hela a lot of times, bro. So you have to be very careful with that. But if you learn how to play the combo, Hela is great. It's awesome, bro. Even without having Invisible Woman. I wish we could trade, bro, because I like Hela. I love Hela. It is one of my favorite cards. But I would get my Green Goblin, of course. I wouldn't doubt it even a second. I prefer Green Goblin, dude. If we could trade cards, I would trade you my Hela for your Green Goblin, dude.
Dream as well. Hela essentially is going to play...
But Hela is awesome. Hela is one of my favorite cards. I believe in the video I reacted to the Ben Broad's deck, I said that Hela was one of my favorite cards. Because this effect is cool and it creates an archetype by itself. You discard cards to bring it back, bro. Yes.
Play all the discarded cards on the battlefield after she's been played. She
Ben Bros.
becomes insane.
Ben Bro, dude. Ben Bro.
Like Invisible Woman and Hellcow. You can hide your discard options behind Invisible Woman. Play Hela last, and then you're playing these big power cards like Hulk and Infinite. She scales very nicely into pool 3. If you like destroy decks, then strap up. We've got Death. Now, Death's cost is going to reduce each and every time a card on your opponent's side or your side is destroyed. And she gives an instant boost to destroy decks overall. Again, if you need some options, you can check the guide up above. But essentially, Death is a super strong card that can cost.
The thing is that really early in pool 3, this is my opinion. When you are really early in pool 3 and you have only unlocked like 3, 4, 5 cards in pool 3, unless you are very lucky and pull some very good cards that synergize between them, I believe you are better off just building an optimized deck from pool 1 and pool 2 that functions well without trying to force a pool 3 card into them, you know. The Devil Dino deck is really optimized. The budget control deck, I have a video about it, it is very optimized. Even the Su deck from the pool 1 is very optimized. So those decks are powerful. So trying to fit a pool 3 card by force, maybe it isn't a good approach. Unless you are lucky with the synergy that card provides, you know. And why I say that, I say it because he's talking about Death. And Death by herself isn't that good. If you try to build a Destroy deck just to have a Death there, I don't believe you will be very successful, you know. It is kind of forced.
Nothing if you destroy enough cards to set her up. If you are going to play Death early and you pull her early, make sure you run her with Yondu because you get some free cost reduction. And really, it's the best case scenario for Yondu. And lastly, for this section, we have an extremely fun card. Arnim Zola.
Is great,
watch
bro.
my Black Panther
You
guy,
can
then
never
you guys
go
know
wrong
how
with
he
him.
works already. But Arnim is going to go ahead and destroy a card at a location and make 2 other copies, reactivating it.
You can never go wrong with Arnim Zola,
Insane
bro.
plays with cards that you already have. If you bought the season pass for Black Panther, get ready for just an extremely strong combo out the gate. And if you didn't, you can still combine him with Devil Dinosaur and a lot of other strong 5-cost options. Arnim is a fantastic card to pull early. All right, now let's move up the ladder to some
Useful in
even
any deck,
better
alright.
options.
This is what I like most, you know. Not trying to force a card in a deck, but getting cards that are useful everywhere.
Again, this doesn't mean they're better cards overall, but these are cards that you can truly make work really in any deck. It doesn't matter.
Wong is one of those cards, bro. Wong is one of the best pulls you can get early in pool 3 because you already have a good on reveal deck with pool 1 and pool 2 cards, and if you place a Wong there, it is awesome, dude. Mystique is great too with any deck because you can get for the ongoing, for the on reveal. Those are 2 cards that are good to get pulled, you know.
Matter which one you like to run. They're not deck type specific. Let's start with one of my personal favorites, Leader.
Bro, how Cozy Snap, dude. You seem like a nice dude. Why do you like the Leader, bro? Leader is a douchebag, dude. I hate the Leader, bro. And it is one of your favorite cards, bro. I can't believe this, dude. Leader sucks, but not because he's not a good card. It's because he's a great card, and every time they play it against me, they destroy me, and I hate the Leader because of that.
In my opinion, Leader is one of the best cards in the game. If you're already winning a location and have some power in another location, you are going to win with Leader. As long as you have the space, Leader is going to copy whatever your opponent does on turn 6. And this just leads to very high and consistent cube wins. He's a lot of fun. He's just a perfect counter to so many decks. Now, next up, we have a 2-for-1.
The only thing that, well, the thing on top of my head that can counter the Leader is a Destroyer, because if you copy a Destroyer, you are going to destroy your whole board, and that isn't fun at all. But of course, if you know the opponent is likely to play a Destroyer, you won't play your Leader. You won't be that stupid. So can I win this bullshit? I'm winning this one, I'm winning this one. This one will turn into the real Mysterio. I have to push power here. 11 power, I have 6 here. Oh, I can only play 1 card, dude. So, not really. But I can play Captain Marvel and she will move wherever I can win the game. So I will continue playing the game. Wave and Electro. Wave is a great card that I don't have, by the way, and I need my Wave to be able to play the Deadpool deck. And I do have Electro, and Electro is really fun. One of my favorite decks, the Big Bad Electro, is great. It's really fun. Bro, you can do this to me, and you are less than 1k levels in the collection trap. Bro, you have all the cards I want, dude. And I'm here with Crossbones and with Goose Look at this. I have a Goose, bro. This card sucks dick. And a Crossbones and a fucking Drax, dude. Yes, Hela is great, dude. Hela is great.
Special that you can fit into most decks, and that is going to be Wave and Electro. Now, both of these are awesome because if you play...
Goose is great in the Spectrum deck, bro. He truly is great in the Spectrum deck. I also have played the Spectrum deck, and Goose pops up there, bro.
Them on turn 3. It's going to allow you to play 5 cost cards for the rest of the game and gives you access to my current jam in a ramp deck. Now, I love Electro and Wave because it gives strong access to different combos that you can set up a lot more quickly, and it's going to go ahead and...
I love Electro, but I don't know. I would have to look at the card list and try to find combos. I don't know if he's one of your first cards in Pool 3. It is very easy to make him work. I don't really know, but he's a great card, and I do like him a lot.
Teach you some fundamental values in Pool 3. Both of these are great, and if you put them both together in one deck, it's even better. A 14 power bomb that you can play around. You have loads of power, and if you add him to a control deck, you can either shut down that mid...
Bro, Viper is cool in the Bothead deck where you give your opponent a bunch of stupid bullshit. And I love that deck. I want to play that deck, but I can't play it because I don't have Viper. And beside Viper, that deck also uses the Green Golem, and that is one of the reasons I want my Green Golem to play that deck. But to able to, you can look it up. You can look it up in YouTube. The Bothead deck by Ben Broad, or you can also look it up like Obnoxious Control. Some people call it like that. Or Control Retreat, because you make your opponent retreat a lot. It is a deck where you play Debris, you play the Hood, you play Black Widow. The goal is to give the opponent a bunch of useless stuff and fill their board with useless stuff. It is a pretty good trollish deck that makes people retreat a lot. I don't know if it is very good, but it is really, really fun. So that is one of the decks that I want to play the most.
Middle lane or the far right lane with something like a Storm Jessica Jones combo. And then you have a turn 6 finisher with 14 power for the leftmost lane. He can only be played on that lane, but if you set it up, it's a easy win card. Another card just slip into any deck early is Captain Marvel. Love pulling.
I was gonna say, because in my game I had Captain Marvel in hand. And I saw it and I said, Captain Marvel is a great pull, bro. She can fit into almost any deck. And he talked about it. That is cool.
Her, the earlier, the better. Because she takes the guesswork out of what your opponent's going to do. She's a pretty strong card that you can even power up to make her stronger. And what she's going to do is she's going to fly to another location if it has you win the game. This is super clutch if you don't know which way your opponent is going to play. She allows you to play a much more wider approach to Marvel Snap. Very strong card. Another control option, we have Magic.
Is great.
Now, Magic is going to be another card you can slot.
Bro, you get titles in the Collector's Reserves. If you aren't still on the levels where you get Collector's Reserves, you aren't going to get titles. If you are in the Collector's Caches, don't get titles. So you need to get to the Collector's Reserves to get titles. But bro, titles suck. Who cares about titles, bro? And I got the Never Lucky title. Where you were here when I unlocked the Never Lucky title, I believe.
Slot into your current deck as she adds a turn 7 that you will be prepared for and your opponent will not. And you can...
Bro, I've never seen that title, but that seems like an awesome title because we all know we play a lot of people, and we all do play the game on the toilet, dude, because that is a great toilet game, bro. You play a couple of games, you do your stuff, you are great, bro.
And control the game a lot better. The ways you can do this is you play her by turn 5, and you're going to be able to counter whatever your opponent does on turn 6. If they have a big play, odds are they were saving that for turn 6. And you can counter that with something like Shang-Chi or Enchantress. Magic is great for control
Magic is a
early
great
on
pull.
and gets a
You,
lot
you
better
can never
with
be
rescue.
wrong with Magic, bro.
Magneto is constantly slept on
And
as one
Magneto
of the
is
better
great too.
cards in Marvel Snap.
I like this list more. When he said amazing cards for any deck, I like this more because these are the cards you wanna get because they can fit into almost anything. For example, if you're playing a Hulk, you take out your Hulk and you place your Magneto there. It is better because now you have an extra ability. But trying to force one card into the other archetypes is harder, you know. And there were some cool combos, but the death combo is kind of difficult to pull off with just death, you know.
I think he's my most split card if I had to guess. Magneto can move all 3 and 4 cost cards to his location if there's space available, and this can cause for a lot of instant wins, especially against Storm and Jessica Jones players that have locked down a lane. He is a perfect addition to really any deck. Jubilee, really the possibilities are endless with Magneto. Now last but not least, before we get to the top 5, we have a card that can fit into any deck that's deceiving. A lot of people kind of skip by him, but he's extremely strong, and that is Dracula. Now why is Dracula so strong? Well, he really can't be countered. What he's going to do is replace his own power.
He is an unknown reveal, he is an ongoing. The only things that can counter Dracula are things that interfere with your hand, like Maximus maybe, that gives you extra cards so you don't discard the one card you want. But are you really going to run an extra Maximus in your deck just because you want to counter a possible Dracula? You won't do that, bro. So it is very hard to counter Dracula, really.
With the power of a card in your hand, he's only 4 cost. And the reason why this is so strong, guys, is because there's no way to counter him. He's not ongoing. He's not on reveal. No tech cards are going to counter this. And then secondly, he's replaced at the
There are
end.
ways, like I say, like Maximus, and maybe there are other stuff that I could think. But it is so specific stuff that it isn't worth it to have those cards in the deck, you know? Just to counter a possible Dracula that you don't even know if you are going to face.
End of the game. So Shang-Chi, there's no options to shut him down. Many of games will be won early on if you learn how to play Dracula just right. He's one I'm especially excited to make some decks for. Let's head into our golden ticket winners, the ones that truly get you out of the early pool 3 hell, the ones that are going to supercharge you right out the gate if you pull these cards, giving you a huge advantage. Now quickly, I need to hear from you guys on this. Do you want me to finish out this list and show you all of the card options and the best pulls that you could do early? Or would you rather me make the tier list and rank the best cards in the game at the maximum potential that they have and get feedback from a lot of different people to make the list? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's start the top 5 golden tickets with
Of course,
Wong.
you have Wong there.
Meet a portable...
Of course, I talked about Wong earlier. Of course, Wong is one of the best things that you can pull. Wong is awesome, dude, and he can fit in a lot of decks. I guess he will talk about Mystique too.
Full Kamartage. Wong is going to double all on reveal effects twice, allowing for some just absolutely crazy combos. You guys definitely love on reveal effects by now. If you have been climbing, odds are you've played Odin before and you're familiar with these cards.
Yes.
But what happens when you double that up, right? Black Panther becomes a lot stronger. You have Wolfsbane, you have Ironheart, you have Gambit, who you can unlock later. Wong definitely gets even more power if he's complemented with our next card. But he's a great,
Mystique.
great
Of course
pull
it is
early
Mystique.
because you have so many on-reveal cards that can work with him. You can slot him into a lot of decks, not just on-reveal. For instance, put him with an ongoing deck and have Spectrum
Exactly.
play on top of him for a massive end-of-the-game bonus. There's loads of potential with Wong.
That is
To
one
get
of the
him early,
strongest
I'm
combos in the
jealous.
game.
He was one of the last ones I unlocked. And the perfect gel to go with the peanut
está.
butter that was Wong is Mystique.
There she is,
is going to
Mystique.
copy the last card played if it had an ongoing effect. Now, she slots perfectly with decks you are already used to or cards that you use a lot in Pool 1 and 2. Iron Man, for example, is just stupid to have 2 versions of that. Kazar,
Exactly.
Blue Marvel, Mystique makes a lot of decks just work well in Pool 3. And I gotta say, if you pull her early on, I hate you. Let me know. Let me know in the comments so I can tell you.
I did pull her early on, like I don't know, 700, like that, 800. I pulled Mystique. But I wanted Green Goblin, dude.
That I hate you. She was the last card that I unlocked in the game, and it.
You unlock Mystique as your last pull, dude. That is really unlucky, dude. Well, I will get Green Goblin as my last pull, and we all know it. So I'm really unlucky too, if you look it that way.
Sucked. However, she just gives you a huge bonus right out the gate, and you're going to win a lot of matches with Mystique. All right, 3 cards left. Now we have Destroyer. If you...
Bro, they are... And a lot of decks revolve around Mystique and or Wong, you know? So unlocking them unlocks a lot of strategies and archetypes for you. So if Mystique is your last pull, that stings a little bit, dude.
Pull them early. Wow, have fun. Essentially, you combine some pull 1 and 2 cards with Destroyer, and you have one of the best decks in the game. Now, if you combine Armor or Professor X to shut down and protect your lanes, you can play the massive bomb that is the Destroyer and set them up with cards like Bucky Barnes or Colossus to get
these 3 cards, I agree with
value. You're going to lose to this deck plenty when you're climbing in pull 3, and if you pull him early, he's like one of the most instant golden tickets because you already have all the compliments around him. For the second to last one, it's a spicy one because I think she is so slept on. In my opinion...
Yes, right now Aero is one of the most played cards because they build like that Aero deck that is killing it right now, and everyone is crazy about that deck. But outside of that, is really Aero that good? I don't know because I don't have her, so I don't have experience with her to know if she is that strong when you know how to play her, you know. But in my experience, without playing her, and when they play her against me, I'm not that scared of an Aero, you know. So I don't know if she's really a golden ticket, bro. She maybe is a cool card to have, but I believe for a top 5 spools in pool 3, I believe you could put something better there for sure.
One of the best cards in the game, and by far out of all of the cards I have, she has won me the most cubes late, and that is Aero. Now, Aero, deceptive at first, you think maybe she just works for move decks. She is an 8-cube winner, guys. She is so powerful. What she does is she's going to move all of the cards that your opponent is playing to the location you play her on. Now, you can play her on turn 5, sure, but on turn 6, absolutely devastating. And if you get like a location like Fisk Tower or combine her with Kingpin, even more value comes out of Aero. Like, in my opinion, the best cards in the games are the ones that can win you consistent high amounts of cubes, right? Like, just because you have a good card, your opponent's just going to retreat. But with Aero, you can make them think they're going to win, and then you move them over, and you truly win. If you play her on locations
that
you are already winning by a massive amount, and your opponent's trying to avoid, like, it's just a free stamp for 8 cubes. Very solid. And for that number 1 spot, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good way to counter really the rest of them that we talked about today.
This is one of the best pulls you can have for sure. I do agree with this one.
The best deck in Marvel Snap for many of reasons. It's Sarah. Sarah is going to be near the top of the tier list when we decide to do that. Sarah is going to reduce all of the cost from every card in your deck and hand by 1. And at first, that doesn't seem that great. You know, she costs 5 energy. Why is that such a good card overall? Well, let me tell you, if you stack your deck with 2 cost cards, you can create a Sarah Miracle deck. And let me know if you want me to make a guide on this deck.
The 2 cost cards is because they get to 1. You can't get any lower than 1 with Sarah. So if you have a bunch of 1 cost cards, they won't get to 0. So having 2 cost cards, they will get to 1, and they get a lot more value from the reduced cost than having 3 cost cards that get to 2. That is only a 33%, while the 2 cost cards get a 50%. So stacking your deck with 2 cost cards, you slap a Sarah in the 5th turn, and on the 6th turn you slap 6 1 cost cards. That is devastating for the opponent, dude.
Because of how strong it is. But essentially, on the last play of the game, you're going to have all of this value. You're going to have 1 cost cards cost 0 and 2 cost cards cost 1. And there's a lot.
No, that can happen. Minimum 1. It says right here in the card, bro.
A lot of strong cards with 2 costs. And so Sarah gives you so much value early on and access to a golden ticket in one of, if not the best deck in the game currently. Now, 2 closing notes. First of all, if you have pulled a lot of cards and none of them.
Yes, I believe Wong is the best thing the best thing you can pull early on pool 3, I believe it is Wong, bro. Wong is great in almost any deck, bro. In almost any deck. You can go wrong with Wong, bro.
Have been the cards we talked about today. And congratulations, you're a lot like myself. I pulled literally dumpster fire. When I make the tier list, I bet you like more than half of my first pulls are going to be towards the bottom. But guys...
Bro, Spectrum with Wong is awesome, dude. Spectrum with Wong is awesome. It doesn't matter if you don't have Mystique. It doesn't matter if you don't have Mystique. Play your Wong in your Spectrum deck, and that is a great deck, bro. That is a great deck. You can climb a lot with that deck. If you have Mystique, play the Mystique. If you don't have the Mystique, play the Wong Spectrum. That is great, bro. It doesn't matter if you don't have Mystique. Wong Spectrum is powerful too.
It's okay because you will pull good cards and you try to make good decks out of what you have. Because again, it's Marvel Snap and you can win consistently in this game as long as you understand the decks that you have made, understand the pros and the cons of them, and put together the best deck possible. Now, let me know down below.
In Marvel Snap, the deck is secondary, bro. The first thing is the snap. The deck is just something that helps you get better snaps. But the thing to win is the snap. So we have talked about this a lot of times. You can climb in Marvel Snap with a negative win rate. You can lose more games than you win and still climb because when you win, you get more cubes. So it is cool to have a great deck, but it isn't the most important thing.
Hello, first of all, what polls did you get early on? I'm going to try to comment back to as many comments as possible, telling you which deck I would run if I were you. And on top of that, what card that we talked about today should I make a deck guide on first? We're going full steam ahead.
Well, we are good. This was a cool video. I agree on some things. I don't agree on others. For example, I don't think Eiro is one of the best pulls you can get earlier in the pool 3. And as we talk about, Sera is great, but I believe Wong can be better than Sera. Wong unlocks more strategies and more archetypes and more decks. And the first cards that he said, like trying to force them into already built decks, I don't like that. I like more the approach for the cards that fit into any deck, bro. Cubes is what gives you ranking, you know. You get in your ranking, these are cubes. You get 10 cubes are a ranking, you know. So if you win an 8 cube game, you get 1 level, almost 1 level. So what matters is cubes, not really winning or losing, but when you win, winning a lot of cubes, and when you lose as fewer cubes as you can. And that is what ranks you, bro. That is what makes you rank in the game. More than having a positive win rate. Because if you win every game, but you only win 1 or 2 cubes, it isn't better than a deck that wins 1 in 4, but always wins 8 cubes, you know. That is the thing. That is why the snap is the best thing you can handle. But of course, there are decks that make the snap better, and that is why they are good decks, because they help you gain more cubes with their power output, or where they're surprising explosive last turn that can take the opponent by surprise and steal a lot of cubes from them. The deck help you accomplish that. So yes, the deck is important, but if you don't know how to manage the snap mechanic, you will lose. For example, the negative Sera deck. That deck relies on pulling a specific combo. If you don't draw that combo, the strategy with the deck is to retreat. And if you draw the combo, you snap them before they know that you have the combo. And you can climb with that deck because that deck has a lot of cube potential, because it is very explosive in the last turn. But you have to know that you have to retreat if you don't have the combo. What happens if you give that deck to a player that doesn't know that? He will completely destroy his ranking because he doesn't know that he has to retreat if he doesn't have the combo. That is the thing. The snap is the most important thing. Of course, Eiro is only disruptive, but she doesn't offer power output, you know. She is good to disrupt your opponent, but she doesn't have power output. And in early pool 3, maybe players aren't experienced enough to take all that advantage out of Aero because she is a disruptive card. You have to think out where are you going to play her to take the most advantage, you know? And you have to think about what the opponent is likely to play too. So it isn't an easy as use card as Wong. You use a slap Wong and play on reveals in his lane and you are Gucci, dude. So I like Wong and Sarah better, of course, and Mystique. I even prefer Wave, bro. Wave is better than Aero for me. But the video was cool. I do agree on a lot of points. And if some people find one of the cards he's saying here, they can hear some of the points to use those cards, and that is great too. So yes, everything is cool. If you are still here, thank you very much. You are awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video that you just watched. And if you did, please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to the channel. I upload videos about Marvel Snap every day. I also stream live on Twitch. You can go and follow me there and we can hang out. I will leave the link down in the description. You can also follow me on Twitter. I post it every time that I upload a video and when I go live. So yes, bro, thank you for being here. You are awesome. And remember, as the great Bill Hicks said, this is just a ride.